Hello guys, good evening and welcome back. Alright, so in this video I want to show you how to cut a perfect Ankara. Now I have noticed that some of us still have challenges in drafting Ankara. So the reason I brought the two fabrics is to explain from the scratch so you understand in detail. Please kindly watch to the very end and try your best to listen attentively. This video will be the last solution to all your questions and queries on Ankara drafting. So, as we all know, to start your Ankara drafting, you must also make sure you check the pattern. Now, this one here has a pattern. Pattern means it has an inscription. Now, this inscription is written Catholic Lectors Association of Nigeria, Clan, Owerri Archdiocese. Now, this simply means that in anything you are doing, this image must face upright. On no account should it face downwards. The least you can see is it faces sideways, right? But no account should this image face down, both on the top and the trouser, both the sleeve. Everything should be placed erect. Now, this is for the patterned Ankara. Why this does not have any directional pattern? It's a random pattern, meaning that this can be placed anyhow and it will work. You get. So the reason I brought this to Ankara is to show you that this is what I mean from the pattern Ankara. Now, to draft this Ankara, now we are going to start with this. Now, you are going to just, this is 6 yards. This fabric here is 6 yards. So we are going to fold from the both ends. Unlike our plain trouser that we pick one edge and slit into two. But if you still wish to do it that way, there's still no problem. Like if you still wish to pick one end of your fabric this way, fold into two, just like this, and then get your hip measurement by 4 plus extra 2 inches, and then later on slit here, there's still no problem. It will still work very well, right? So I think we are going to use that method so that you don't get confused. So now the hip we have for my client here is a hips of 42. Now, since we have observed that this, even as much as this does not have direction, but it still has a particular direction, meaning that it's a leaf like facing up. So that means that this thing should also face up. But where it's a random pattern, like something of this nature here, right? This one is a random pattern. It can face anywhere. But this as well has a little direction. So the leaf should face up. So we are still going to turn it over the other way around and use our leaf to face upright. So here, our hip of my client we have here is 43. So divide by 4, you have 10 3/4, then plus extra 2 inches. So here I will make sure I have 10 3/4 plus extra 2, that's 43, 10 3/4 plus extra 2. So this is a bit big, so I will reduce it to the point where I have a perfect measurement that I am looking for. So here, you iron all through this way, and then cross check your measurement again, 43, then plus extra 2 inches. I think I'm okay with this. So we are going to work with this particular measurement. Now, the next you will do here is to bring your chalk and then you mark out your baselines. You mark out your baselines. Your baselines must be properly marked out in this form. After you have marked out your baseline, the next you will do is to add extra 2 inches right there. Now that 2 inches you're adding will serve you for the folding or hemming of the trouser. So here you mark 2 inches right here. Here you mark 2 inches right there, and then connect the line. So here serves me for the folding of the trouser, right? So because of what we have, we are going to slit here so that it don't get confused. So let's just slit here. So we slit here all through this way. Make sure that your slitting is coming at the exact point where you have your folding. So slit this edge all through this way so that you don't get confused as if you are making a top, right? Fine. So once you have gotten your slitting properly done, now the next you are going to do here is to apply the length of your trouser. So which we have it to be 39. So here you mark 39 inches for your customer's trouser length. You mark all through this way. Mark it twice, 39 inches. So once you have marked it at 9 inches all through this way, the next you will do is you connect the line here. Here becomes your waistline, right? And then you now check your crotch. So how do you get your crotch? From the measurement you have, divide the hip by 4. So the hip we have here is 43. Divided by 4, you have 10 3/4. So I will maintain the 10 3/4 as my crotch depth. In this case, I'm not going to minus or add anything on the customer's crotch measurement. So here, you connect the line all through this way. And then, after you have done that, you now come on the ankle line, come in by 1.5. This 1.5 you mark in is to enable you give this outfit a fitting effect on the trouser, right? So you come in by 1.5, and then on this crotch point, you now mark your real hip over 4, which is 10 3/4, just this way, plus extra 2 inches, which is constant, right? And then come to your waistline. The waist we have is 33. Divided by 4 is 8 1/4. Right here, you mark 8 1/4 right here, plus extra 1 inch right there. And then connect the 1 inch on the waist to the real hip. It goes all through this way, right? And after this, the next thing you will do now is to raise the line of 1.5, the one you mark on the ankle, 1.5, bring it up a little bit. Bring it up a little bit to somewhere of this nature, and then tilt your ruler to the crotch point and connect with a slanted line all through this way. And then after you have done this, you now mark your ankle. Ankle we have is ankle of 14, that's 7. You mark 7 inches this way, and then you bring up the line again to go straight like this. Then you can now bring your hip curve, or you can still use your thread ruler to connect the lines from the crotch extra inch allowance. It goes all through this way, and then you can use your freehand sketch. If you don't have pattern master or ruler, then fine tune it to lap properly. After you have done this, you come up here by 2 inches, which serves you for the actual hip point, and then make a curve from here to connect to the other 2 inches here, and then slant the waistline by half an inch, that's 0.5. Then connect there to somewhere here, and then create your pocket point, which we are going to have it to be 7 inches deep this way by 2.5. So this is how you draft the front panel of your trouser. So I will cut out this, and then I will also show you how to proceed. All right, so here, because of the fact that we have a pattern on this Ankara, we are not going to fling it over like the way we do regularly. So we are going to just continue placing the fabric in that same direction to maintain this sleeve to be upright both in front and at the back panel. So here you extend the line by 2 inches at the crotch line, and here you mark 2 inches here. You mark 2 inches all all through the lap, knee, ankle, calf area. So you mark 2 inches all through in all of these areas. Then use your hip curve, and then you connect from here to this very point. You connect all through this way. You connect from here to this very point. Connect all through this way. Connect from here to this very point. Connect all through this way. So this is what we have. And then after you have done this, the next thing we do here is to raise the back panel by 2 inches. Bear in mind that the front panel must be slanted while the back must be raised, right? So that it won't be a lowest effect at the back panel. So you raise it by 2 inches. Then here you mark the waistline 1.5 inch extra. You mark somewhere here 2 inches as well, 2 inches here. And then you also use your hip curve and connect from here all through to this point. Then bring your pattern master or your armhole curve, make a curve that synchronizes to the actual inch mark on the waist, on the hip, right? Then you cut out. So the reason I want to leave this video on is for you to see the shape as we are cutting it immediately from the panel. So once you are done with this, the next you will do now will be to cut the components, which are the same with the English trouser, but the only different thing here we are going to have is the band. The band is 4.5 inches width, unlike the English trouser that is 2.5, right? So here you are going to cut a band measurement of 4 inches, 4.5 inches maximum, while the width of the band remains the waist circumference plus extra 5 to 7 inches. So you also slit the side of the Ankara from here. You also slit the side of the Ankara from here, and then once it gets to this point, you now cut it out. You now cut it out. So this is how you can cut your Ankara that has pattern. In as much as this one does not have much pattern, but it's still very much applicable to pattern fabrics, right? So now you have cut the front and back, and then you notch this point, you notch here this way, and you also notch here as well. After the notches you have made, now the next you are going to do here now is to cut the components. So I think I'll also show you the components as well, so that you understand how they are being cut. Here for the components, because of the way we have cut out this fabric, the flaps they are now together, right? The zip fly, they're not together because of the way we have cut it out. So this is what you also face if you have followed this pattern in cutting. So all you need to do is just to bring the actual measurements this way, and then you align it properly just like this. Then slit it open from here, slit open from here, slit open from here, and then measure 3.5 inches to 4 inches width for the 2.5 to 4 inches width for the zip fly, 2.5 inches to 3 inches width maximum for the zip attachment, right? And the length will be 9 to 11. So you measure it that way and cut in this form. So make sure that it is properly arranged just like this. So carefully, you go through these whole processes. The reason I am taking my time to explain this to you, so that after this video now, you will not have issues again on Ankara drafting, right? So that you know that you have learned Ankara thoroughly from Mr. Redefined. So the next we are going to cut is the pocket facing. So the pocket facing as well, has joined together because of the pattern I use in cutting it out. So you cut all through this way, and then you also make sure you slit slit it open from here, slit open from here, and then you measure 4 inches width, 4 inches width, and then cut at 4 inches width by the length of 9 to 11 inches, right? For the pocket facing. So that is for the pocket facing. And then you are now going to do the band, the patch pocket, and the bit loop. So from the pieces that you have, you can arrange the band. So here for the band, we are measuring 4.5 inches width, just this way, 4.5 inches width, 4.5. Then connect the lines all through like this. Now the length of the band will be your waist circumference divided by 2 plus extra 5 to 7 inches. So the waist we have is 33. So 33 is 16.5. So here we have 46, which is very much okay for us. So we are going to use 46 in our band. So we are going to make it like a one band, right? So, but we're still going to slit it at the center back to make it jointed at the end of the day, because jointed bands are safer and better off to use, so that in case you have issues in your waist circumference, you can adjust it easily from the back waistline. So the next we are going to cut will be belt loop, which is still the same 1.5 inches by 24. 1.5 inches by 24. That's the size of the belt loop or the belt holder. So here you fold this way, 1.5 inches this way by 24. So you make sure you get exact of that length, and then the belt loop is done. So with this now, you can now boast of cutting your Ankara trouser.